Okay, so uh, as some of you might know, I've been working on a guide to explain how to modify your combos during for all the different situations, for heat, for uh, rage, for walls, all the different options that are available to Dragunov for different situations. But all of a sudden, because I haven't had a lot of time, I haven't been able to actually work on that video. But all of a sudden, I open up Tekken and this image drops. And all of a sudden, apparently, Namco are preparing for an uh, update to the game, which according to them, the update content is going to include I'm going to come to the first point last, but first, another thing that they are going to do is behavior slash properties of all moves will be adjusted for some characters. So we're going to have a balanced patch as well, which is, I mean, which simply means that there is no point in making a any sort of a guide until that until this patch comes out, because we don't know what's going to change with Dragunov. Unfortunately, Dragunov is like a prime candidate for nerfs, unfortunately, because still a lot of people think that Dragunov is too overpowered. At this point, I think the only thing that people have a problem with when it comes to Dragunov is his damage output. And so what I'm expecting is for them, let me just quickly load up Dragunov here so that we can go over his, we can, so we can look at his moveset and check out what exactly might be nerfed. So what I'm expecting in this patch is for Dragunov's down for 3+4 to get hit, or his full crouch 1-4 to get nerfed, because these are his main combo tools, right? If you want to nerf Dragunov's damage, what do? You either nerf his ender with down for 3+4, which is also used in a lot of different combos as well, or you nerf his down for 3-1-4, full crouch 1-4, because that's used in almost all of his good combos. So if they nerf either of these options, I think Dragunov is going to take a significant hit. What I'm expecting is for a launcher like this, a very BNB combo like this, which does 68 right now, I would expect this to do 62 by the end of the patch. But obviously we don't know if that is the route they are going to go with or not. But if they do decide to do that, then I would really hope that they give him compensate his game plan a little bit in other areas. For example, I still maintain that his crouch dash 4 was nerfed incorrectly. I don't mind this move getting nerfed. It was too overpowered. Well, not overpowered. This was a bit overtuned the way it released. But in my opinion, they should lower the frame advantage. It's +7 on block. They should remove this frame advantage instead. They should recover the opponent closer to Dragunov like it did earlier, and lower the frame advantage to something like +4, +3. I think that would make it easier for people to step or just jab Dragunov out of it. Right now, even right now, all of those options are extremely viable against Dragunov if you know what you're doing. If you're looking for this transition, then you're definitely going to be able to catch Dragunov out of it. And if you can step it like even semi-competently, I think you can destroy Dragunov's game plan completely. If Dragunov relies on this option too much, that is. So I'm hoping that this will be updated, changed in a way where it doesn't disrupt Dragunov's game plan too much. Instead, just like it did with this, the biggest problem with Crouch Dash 4 being nerfed in this way is that the neutral is reset, right? That this I keep harping on about is that Dragunov does not have any real options if we if we are in like this range. Dragunov really doesn't have any options here, right? The opponent, unless the opponent wants to get in on Dragunov, Dragunov really doesn't have anything. Dragunov doesn't have good keep out. Down for 2, I would say, is the only real keep out that Dragunov has. Other than that, Dragunov does not have any real keep out. 1-1 is his only real counter hit move to stop pressure. So Dragunov is a very monotone character where he wants to pressure the opponent as much as possible with his very close quarter moves, right? All of these moves are extremely close quarter. This is what Dragunov wants to do. That's what his game plan is. So this new move out of his crouch dash really sat well with this whole game plan, but nerfing it in such a way that even on block, the neutral is completely reset. There's nothing I can do with that +7 advantage at this range. Right, once you reset the, no, I'm sorry if my voice is a bit weird. I have a very severe cold, unfortunately. But what I was talking about was that in this situation, there's practically nothing Dragunov can do. Now, a lot of people talk about you can go for the full crouch low, right? That low is completely useless if the only thing I can other follow up with for a mate is just a while standing 4, right? This isn't a mix-up. No one's going to consider this a mix-up. The reason it was overwhelming was because the while standing 1 connected. Right now, this doesn't connect, and while standing 1 connecting was a bit overwhelming simply because you could loop this. You could loop while standing 1 into crouch dash 4 into crouch dash 4. So this was a bit overwhelming for the opponents, unfortunately. So they decided to nerf it by completely removing all of its utility, making it recovering the opponent so far away that if they don't do this, if they don't revert the properties on this this move at all, what I would hope is that at least they fix it at the wall. But Dragunov should get these big plus frame moves at the wall, hopefully. So at the wall, Dragunov right now pushes himself back, which is absolutely stupid. I don't really understand why they would do that. Right, Dragunov pushes himself back enough that while standing 1 doesn't connect. The big reason I think they nerfed this move in this way was so that while standing 1 will not connect under any circumstance. But doing that resets the neutral completely. If you don't want to reset the neutral, if you don't want while standing to connect, but I don't have a good solution for that. How do you have to remove crouch cancel from while standing 1 completely, which is not a good thing, which is also a very, very bad thing in my opinion, simply because that's bad for combos as well. This is a tool you like to use in combos whenever possible. What was that? Yeah. You can use it in combos if you want. So there is no need for you to remove the while standing 1 completely, while standing 1 crouch dash completely, because then your combos will end up being monotone. This will be the only real route that you could go for. Other than that, I think that Dragunov's, obviously the orbital change, I don't think this is coming back, nor should it come back. Right, this was a bug. I think this was accidental, so they removed it. That's fine. Just updating the properties for the crouch dash 4 would be good. If they do remove damage, the reason I'm not in favor of removing damage from Dragunov is because Dragunov doesn't have good mix-ups. So there really isn't any viable way in which Dragunov can get consistent damage unless he forces the opponent to duck with his mix-ups, right? This is another move that I'm afraid they might end up nerfing, because this is a really, really good move. Even though it's slow, it's launch punishable. It's 20 frames startup, launch punishable, where it has decent amount of range. right? It's not the longest range thing, but it has decent amount of range, plus 7 on it. This is very good for Dragunov's game plan, but again, they might just end up nerfing it because people are making a lot of fuss about his damage, which is unfortunate. So if they do end up nerfing him, I think what they're going to do is hit his down for 3+4. What they're going to hit is down for full crouch 1-4. I think these are the two things which will damage the Dragunov most if they go for it, because they will hurt Dragunov's combo damage directly. I think so. That's what I think is going to happen with Dragunov in the next patch. So once that patch comes out, depending on how Dragunov is nerfed, I will probably make a combo guide. Then I won't just make a combo guide with all the different combo options like I did for the previous patch. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how to modify your combos for different options, for heat, for rage, for all these different options, right? What are the best ways to use heat, how to use rage, how to modify your combos if you're about to get a wall, if you see that the wall can be broken, if you see that the ground can be broken, all of these different options. How do I take advantage of all of these options? How do I modify Dragunov's combos to make sure that I get the maximum amount of damage that I can? So once his damage is not, I think that the importance of that video becomes even more important. That video becomes even more important anyway. So that's what I'm going to do post patch. Other than that, the new feature Tekken Shop will be implemented. This is also something that is that I think is very worrisome, because an in-game shop, even though it exists in other games, in other fighting games, it's like a mainstay, like a very common feature in modern games, unfortunately. But because it feels like a good thing for the players, now you can have like an infinite amount of different skins. You can probably have guest character skins or whatever. So at first glance, it might sound like a good thing, but in the longer run, what happens with almost all of these sorts of in-game games that support in-game shop is that the in-game shop becomes the dominant way to earn, the dominant way of making money for the developers and for the producers. So they start valuing the in-game shop over everything else in the game. So Tekken is a really, really feature-rich game for sure. It has a lot of different modes and everything else, but right now, the only way the developers can capitalize on this success is through releasing new DLC. And in that new DLC, they can release new stages, new characters, all of that. The things that really benefit the game moving forward. But if the in-game shop with skins becomes the dominant strategy for monetization for the game, what happens is that the development on DLCs and development on new stages and all of that slows down because their priorities change. This is something we've seen with League of Legends. You can see this with Counter-Strike. You can see with almost any game that implements this sort of a model. They start prioritizing that in-game shop. Right now, MK1 is under fire quite a bit, and one of the points that a lot of people bring up are their what was it, like $10 fatalities, I think, and all of their classic skins being locked behind a paywall. That's really unfortunate, right? So skins, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, League May skins from their classic games like Deception, like Armageddon, all of them have been they are not available through you can't earn them in the game. Technically you can earn dragon crystals, so technically you can earn but the grind is so major, so massive. I'm not even sure if it's 100% possible to earn those skins, but I'm pretty sure that if you wanted those skins, you would probably have to open up your wallet if you want those skins, if you want to use those skins in any reasonable amount of time. So that's a really unfortunate, messy way to implement to implement an in-game shop. And if Taken has an in-game shop now, what's next, right? What that opens the floodgates to is my question. So what's next? Are we going to have a battle pass in Tekken? Are we going to have like there are so many. This is such a slippery slope for them to implement these really uh, these really shady monetization practices that you see with a lot of Blizzard games like Diablo or other games that they have implemented these sorts of shops in that I'm very skeptical that this is in the long term this is going to be a positive thing. But this is what they're going to do. This is what, unfortunately, the whole industry is moving towards. Whether we like it or not, it is a simple fact. It is a simple reality that in-game shops make a ton of money, right? That's the unfortunate reality. And if that is the case, then Tekken does end up implementing a really, really shady Tekken shop, and they get away by saying that it's just visual stuff. It's just it doesn't affect the gameplay balance or whatever. What that is going to happen is that it is going to, in the eyes of the developers and the producers, it's going to prioritize that sort of content over any other sort of content. In Tekken 7, one of the biggest reasons for Tekken 7's success was how frequently we got new seasons, how frequently we got new characters. And yes, in some cases, like Leroy's or Fakumram's, those characters then became the big menace in the game. But that's something you can patch out, right? You can't really patch out skins. You can't, or there is nothing to patch out in skins. If they become the dominant strategy, then your actual game suffers for it. But obviously, we don't know how the Taken project is actually going to handle this in-game stuff. Maybe they implement a very honest, very proper and a non-abusive model of monetization with this in-game shop. But that has to still be seen, right? They might implement a good shop. They might implement a really abusive, really shady sort of a in-game shop. So I don't have cautious optimism. I have very cautious unoptimism. What's the opposite of optimism? Pessimism. I have very cautious pessimism when it comes to in-game shop. I really don't like it. And the second hit is obviously going to be Dragunov. They are for sure going to nerf Dragunov in this patch, and there's literally I don't think that there is any chance that Dragunov won't be nerfed, even though I would disagree with the nerf. I really don't think Dragunov is at that level. But I also remember who was it? I think Spag released a video where he interviewed both Arslan Ash and Nee, and both of them put Dragunov in their top fives. Arslan Ash just immediately said Fang and Dragunov, and Nee also put Dragunov in his top five. And if that's the case, then I think the nerf is warranted. Uh, Maybe I'm just bad with this character. Maybe the way I played it, he doesn't really feel overpowered to me. But because it's every bit of damage the Dragunov scratches out from his opponent, he has to work for. Compared to someone like Alisa, compared to someone like Xiao Yu or Fang even, or Azucena, or any of these characters who just get a ton of damage for free because of their gimmicks. It's but that's the thing, right? Those gimmicks aren't supposed to work at the highest level. If the highest level players are saying that Dragunov is really overtuned, is overpowered, then I think it does make sense for him to get nerfed a little bit. But I really hope that he gets nerfed in such a way that his game plan isn't affected much. If they want to nerf a bit of his damage, that's fine. Go ahead. But I hope that they rethink the nerf for his crouch dash 4. I really hope they rethink it, because a lot of lower level players, the way they use this move is right 2-1 sneak 4, or back 4-2 sneak 4, and this is literally the worst way of doing it, right? Because the reason I say this is literally the worst way of doing it is because you're telegraphing yourself quite a bit. If the opponent throws out, if you're playing against Dragunov and they throw out back 4-2 or 2-1, just be prepared for that crouch dash to come out, and it is slow enough that you're going to be able to easily step it, or you can easily be able to jab it. you can be able to jab them out of it. In any case, that's my 2 cents. Once the patch comes out, then I will definitely make the proper video explaining how his different. Then I'll probably make a video explaining the different explaining my reaction to the nerfs, because at this point I've just resigned to the fact that he is going to get nerfed. So whatever, I'll just go over the nerfs myself, my first impressions, maybe. So once after I've done that, then the next video is going to be how do you actually modify your combos. Uh, how do you actually modify your combos for the different different options that you have in this game, different game mechanics that you have, like heat, like wall breaks, wall bounces, all of that stuff. So if you made it so far, thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next video.